Welcome to another edition of Spotlight on Business here on the NCWLIFE channel. Today we're at the Wok About Grill to find out what Sean's been cooking up, including the brand new 108 Lounge.
Cheers! My name is Sean Smith, and we are at the 108 Lounge now, which is the new addition to the Wok About Grill in Wenatchee. Wok About started as a kind of a brain hatch back in 1997, and I was 26 years old and in between jobs, and decided I was going to go back to my roots of the restaurant industry, and looked around Wenatchee, my hometown, and said, you know, what's not here? What do we need? What hasn't been built in this area yet? And so I brought an idea back from college, and we started the Wok About Grill. It's our version of the Mongolian barbecues that are all over the country, but we did our own spin on it and brought it to Wenatchee. So it was just a discovery process to see if Wenatchee would accept this, because this is kind of a meat and potatoes town, and we brought in, you know, the fresh side of vegetables and the stir-fry idea on a grand scale, and it just blossomed into this 24 years later.
Sean tells us how he worked to get his business started in Wenatchee.
You know, sun up to sundown, just like any entrepreneur or business creator would tell the same story, but mine went from absolutely nothing glamorous, nothing glorious, to right up to the front end greeting people. And I think that gave a good example to the employees that we had at that time, that you know, the boss is willing to get in there and do everything that they're doing to create success. And what we do as a team here is we always just work for tomorrow. We want today to finish so that we're going to be here again tomorrow. That's the success, is just perpetuating on a day-by-day basis.
How did Wok About Grill find cooks for this new restaurant venture? Sean tells us more about the training involved in this style of cooking.
If you want an experience, try and make an omelet on your countertop with a yardstick at home. See how successful that is, and then come down here and try it at, you know, 400 degrees. It was a challenge to get to know how to do that and do it well, and we're very proficient at what we do, and we've trained many young people through the years on how to cook this way. So we went out of the area to recruit experienced cooks that were able to cook at this type of cooking with the giant grills that we have in the middle of the dining room. And we found that there wasn't much of a lifestyle for them coming from out of town, so we started training the locals and training the local boys. And so we were able to branch out and be pretty much a hometown force that continued to run this restaurant for all these past decades.
Wok About Grill also has a location in downtown Leavenworth.
We were invited to go to the Turnplots building up in Leavenworth by the Nelson Legacy Group. They said, you know, we're doing a big development up there, and we love your restaurant. Would you entertain that? And so we sat down in 2013 and 14 and did some negotiating on what it would look like and what kind of square footage we needed. And a good chunk of the building came available to us, and so we went ahead and took that and developed the same idea we had down here with a little bit bigger city feel, because the feel of the original restaurant was, you know, the ideas and the thoughts 20 plus years ago. So as we've traveled more and we've taken in more ideas from other restaurants, we're saying, hey, that's kind of neat. We could work that into our place up here in Leavenworth. So we did. And so that style in Leavenworth is a little bit different as far as the interior design goes, but the cooking style is the same, and we've got more square footage up there that we could do more things with, such as adding a bar. And so we put a bar into a balcony up there and have connected outdoor patios and places to sit outside and enjoy the views and the weather and play tourist, even if you're right here from the area.
The success of the Atmosphere and Bar in Leavenworth gave Sean and his business the idea of bringing the same vibe right to downtown Wenatchee in the form of the 108 Lounge.
This building is the old dance hall and dining room for the Cascadian Hotel when it was the swanky hotel back in the 50s and 60s. And so this actual parquet floor is the original dance floor that was restored and brought back to life for our bar. And right behind you here we have one of the delivery doors that was put into the building. We couldn't find a timestamp on it, but it's a very old door that we're very proud of. And so we worked it into the design of this building and this extension up here into the front of the building. So the owner came to us and said, you know, we've never really got anything to stick in the front of the building. Do you have any ideas? And we said, you know, we've had pretty good success in Leavenworth by adding the bar Atmosphere, and so we made a deal and started working on this in September of last year, and then took a little hiatus for a few months, and then we hit it hard again in December. And so December and January we got all the construction done and all the equipment in and all the lines run, and we're able to get open now here the first part of February. Well, it was really interesting because when we were taking this wall off over here, it had several decades of walls built over it, and we thought, we're going to go all the way down to the studs, and found out there were no studs. It's all old brick and old metal and concrete. And so when we were pulling off the layers of wall, we discovered that with a flashlight we could look down the next decade and go, oh, what are those down there? So we got to looking, and we pulled more wall off and pulled more wall off, and discovered that giant door behind the last sheet of wall. So we just worked it right into the design here, and we're very proud of it. It's still the Wok About Grill, but we felt that we kind of needed some place to set it apart from what the restaurant's doing, but still provide the products to go through the wall. So when we put in the barn doors that match the big door up front, we made it so that we can open it up to the restaurant as well, and have the pass-through for the families still come in the family entrance. And now we have a 21 and older entrance on this side, so the food can come and go and the drinks can come and go, and it just really adds to what it was that we were wanting to bring down from the Leavenworth feel that we're become famous for up there.
What's the story behind the name of the new 108 Lounge?
Oh, while we were building it, we kept saying, where are you at, where are you at? We kind of used that as the locator. And the address here is 108, and it's right above the door. And so we just kind of said, where are you at? We're down at 108 already. Okay, I'll meet you at 108. And that just started to roll off of our tongues, and we just kind of said, it's not a bad name. Plus, it's the identifier of wherever it is, for downtown Wenatchee. It's right across from the convention center, right across from the PAC, all the events across the street. It's very easy. I'll meet you at the 108 before we go across the street. Great, meet you there. It just really took off. We just want everyone to know that this is a local, and this is a local family that provides local jobs to several heads of households, and a lot of first-time job seekers as well. We've had hundreds of kids come through here from the valley, and they've all gotten a little taste for what it is to have their first job, and what it is to have a schedule and be accountable to somebody other than themselves or their parents or their teachers. And it's been a good stepping stone for a lot of kids. We still have 5 or 6 employees that were with us from the day that we started, and we're really proud of that and proud of the families that they've been able to create. We're on our 3rd generation of employees and 3rd generation of customers as well. In all these years, you start seeing the kids of the kids come in, and you're thinking, how did that go so fast? Oh man, start adding it up. But we're very proud of what we've done here for Wenatchee, and how Wenatchee has thanked us and blessed us by keeping us in business. Do you know what's under your house? We're going to talk about that today here on Spotlight on Business on the NCWLIFE channel, as we talk with David Kaler of Harvest Valley Pest Control. Do you have any of these running around? We'll talk about it today.
I have been in the industry for a little over 9 years now, many different roles. Started off actually managing a customer care center, kind of a call center, inside sales and customer service. And then spent a good period of time out in the field killing stuff as a technician. And then served in a management role, actually oversaw about 80 technicians for the company I was with at the time throughout Oregon, Idaho, and Washington, and then down in the Southwest, Arizona, Colorado, and Texas. But I was having to travel a lot, and my wife and I, we live over in Quincy, and we have 5 kids. We're also associate pastors and youth pastors, and just felt like, okay, we're traveling too much, or I'm traveling too much, and that needs to stop. And so we talked and prayed about what to do next, and felt like, you know what? North Central Washington needs a world-class pest control company. There's just not anyone that's meeting that need, and you really change people's lives when you take care of a pest issue. You know, when somebody has a rat infestation in their home, I mean, the world is upside down. And so you're able to come in and identify, okay, here's the steps that need to happen. Here's the action plan that we can implement and get you back to a rat-free home.
From rats and bats to wasps, ants, and spiders, oh my. David says they've just about seen it all in the Wenatchee Valley. They'll even call in a local beekeeper to help relocate honeybees. Working reliably in a number of ways for their customers, David tells us how his company got its name.
And actually, it was my father-in-law who just threw out the name. Hey, what do you think of Harvest Valley? And I don't know, it just fit. It feels like it just fits this area, this community, and I don't know, I just like it. So I was almost, as soon as I heard it, I was like, that's it. So at Harvest Valley Pest Control, we practice what the industry calls integrated pest management, or IPM. It's something that especially our friends in the agriculture community are very well versed in. And the big idea of IPM is that you are not trying to solve every pest problem in the world just with a massive amount of chemicals. You're actually really trying to apply smart science to the issues. And again, controlling the environment that's causing the pest problem. And so the big things that we look for are controlling harborage locations and then food and water sources. And so if you can reduce those issues around a business or around a home, you will greatly reduce the pest pressure. And then using the targeted application of pest control. Again, not just going through and dousing a home in chemicals, but using a very targeted approach to pest control. And so that is really our philosophy of pest control. And number one, we feel like it's the most effective way to do pest control. But number two, we feel like it's a much healthier way for our customers, for their homes, for the living environment. So it requires more work. You can't just run up to a house and just start hosing it down and then jump back in your truck and run off. But it's totally worth it, the extra time. And so a lot of the work, and this is what I communicate to the customer, a lot of what you're really paying us for is actually our eyeballs, is going through and doing a really in-depth inspection to figure out, okay, well, how are they getting in? What are the entry points? What can we do to seal up entry points? What are the harborage locations? What are their pathways? You know, a lot of times if you can figure out the pathways, again, you don't have to treat the whole property, you just treat the pathway. Our best technicians are hunters, guys and gals that love hunting because they get it. You know, whether it's hunting or fishing, you know, that's how you have to, a really good hunter or fisher thinks about that. Okay, you know, what does the fish see here that they like?
David says at Harvest Valley Pest Control, they work with their customers to educate on proper safety methods for treating their homes, or more specifically, the disposal of animal waste.
We really see our role as a coach and a guide for our customers. And we have resources available if they want us to take care of everything, but sometimes they would prefer to take care of it themselves. And so we help them just basically design the plan of action so that they can, you know, call in all their young strapping nephews and grandkids and come in and take care of the problem. That's right.
For David and his team, passion for pest control runs deep.
We are taking care of the health of our customers' home, and literally protecting the entire food chain is our responsibility. We are ensuring that our customers, their homes and their workplaces are safe, healthy environments for them to go and work in. And beyond that, a lot of times the psychological impact that a pest problem can create, whether it's bed bugs or whether it's black widows all over a home or a rat infestation or a mouse infestation. I mean, it is a big deal. It's a life event a lot of times. It's a 911 call when we get a call. And so showing up and being able to really care for people in those situations and then help them get their home or their business or their restaurant back to a pest-free environment. I'm very passionate about that. It fires me up. Like Monday morning rolls around, I'm like, yes! I am so excited that it's Monday. This is awesome. I love the privilege of being able to work together as a team with our team of folks at Harvest Valley Pest Control. I love that. and being able to do life together and be able to grow together and just build a great service that where we're able to provide, in my opinion, the best pest control service in the world right here in Wenatchee. We were just voted world's best pest control, by the way, just shameless plug. Anyways, like, I am really proud of that. Like, I love the fact that we get to provide a world-class level of service here in Wenatchee.
Welcome to the NCWLIFE channel Spotlight on Business. You know, a real estate investment, whether you're buying or selling, is the biggest financial decision you'll ever make. That's why you need to have someone that you can trust. We're here today at Coldwell Banker LaVigne to talk with Tom LaVigne about his real estate company and how they service their customers here in North Central Washington.
I'm Tom LaVigne, and I own and am the designated broker for Coldwell Banker LaVigne. I had a small company, about 15 agents, called Tom LaVigne Properties. And when my dear friend Bob Seltzer that owned this sold, I bought the company and we merged our two companies. I was in the ministry for 24 years prior to that. It was called East Valley Church in Sacramento.
Okay.
And my mom passed away, and I moved up to reunite with my dad and take care of some of his real estate. I'm a Kashmir boy. I grew up. I played football at Kashmir High, you know. My dad had an insurance business, and my granddad was an attorney and later a judge. I still find his name on documents. And my uncle was in real estate. So they own LaVigne Insurance Agency in Kashmir.
So who is Coldwell and who is Banker?
The 97 years in San Francisco, right after the fires, there was all kinds of corrupt real estate transactions, and Coldwell and Banker, the two individuals, developed an integral method of refinancing and taking care of real estate transactions. We no longer have any kind of financing involved in Coldwell Banker. And Banker it just happened to be his name. It wasn't that he was a banker. But it has a long history and a pattern of growth that has become worldwide.
Tom shares his philosophy on real estate at Coldwell Banker LaVigne.
Well, to build walls is not what I want to do. To build bridges between other offices, and I'm very good related to Windermere and Century 21 and Laura Mounter's real estate. She happens to be someone that's intermarried into our family, and her niece, it's my niece, is now taken over the firm. So it's that cooperation, and then of course motivating our own listings and sales. And I have 24 agents, and they're just quality people. Some new, some younger, but a lot of established and long time and fabulous people. When I bought the business, it was a recession, and we just, you know, it was just struggle. We were in a downward trend, you know, long days on market. You couldn't get a house sold. Financing was difficult. We've come out of it. We kind of follow a Seattle trend, but we're a little slower in reaction. Where you'll see theirs spike up and down, ours will be a little bit more gradual because we really are a working class society here. And we're a small town, even though we're growing. So I think it's staying in that curve and understanding the trend of the market, because it changes how you market, you know. And we're seeing activity right during this winter crunch that is surprising to me. The inventory is very low, and anything in that 300 to 500 is in a target of acquisition. Anything lower is gone in days. And so, you know, people have to stay in the business and look at it every day and watch the hot sheet and really stay abreast of what's going on. We are seeing move over the mountain. We are seeing a lot of Seattle movers, and In multifamily, it's because rent control and all those issues are coming to bear. Seattle just can't keep the momentum of property development. It's all gone commercial, and so that's where we are.
Settled in on Chelan Avenue, the location of the business is actually a historic home.
It's historic. It's on the historic register. And at one time it was a mansion, and then it was an attorney's office, and then 35 years it's been Coldwell Banker Davenport, Coldwell Banker LaVigne. It's been real funny. People drive by here all day long, and longtime residents will say, "Where are you?" You know, I don't know what it is. I think it's the traffic flow. And I don't think that really in office is what sells real estate. My best agents, I don't hardly ever see in the office. They have a home office and they're out, and I don't know, it's just an anomaly of how business is done in real estate.
Working through educational tools and holding weekly meetings with guest speakers like a CPA or an appraiser, Coldwell Banker LaVigne prioritizes keeping its agents up to speed on any changes in the market. In addition to training, Tom says technology is also a priority, but his agents work to communicate using the methods their clients prefer.
You know, you need to ask the person their method of communication. Do they want 50 emails? Or do they want me to stop by and say, "How are you doing?" And I find my nature is to talk in person with people, and, you know, shake their hand, have a cup of coffee with them, and, you know, it's just a way that my brain seems to process through their transaction or their need or what they're looking for or when they're going to sell. But some agents are all social media. They are driven by a constant work in that environment. Sometimes it's age too. The younger generation just lives in it. I have a 3.5-year-old little boy we're raising, our little Noah, and he takes my iPhone and does more than I even know how to do. It's just like natural to him.
Whether you're buying or selling, we asked Tom what potential clients can expect when working with Coldwell Banker LaVigne and what he sees coming up this spring in the real estate market.
A care for people that isn't just money. You know, we're not just a greed organization that, of course, we want to earn livings, and but we want our reputation to be lasting. And each agent has kind of a niche. It's very interesting. You know, they do high-end, low-end, residential, multifamily, some commercial. But I do think we're going to see another year or two of very strong appreciation and a very good time to buy. I don't know, I think winter has been a little bit holding us, but we've percolated right through winter, and I think it's indication that the spring is going to be a hot market, really hot market.